Welcome! So welcome to Mexican Fajitas, quick, easy, fabulous midweek dinner that's banging full of flavour.
So this costs less than €10, €9 to feed 5 people. It's quick, it's tactile, it's engaging, and we're going to base it around broccoli, which is packed full of sulforaphane. We will tell you about that later. Right, let's get started.
Okay, so first step, we're going to make our marinade. So into a bowl, we've got our 300 grams of broccoli.
We've got 1 red pepper, which we've sliced finely, and I've 1 red onion that I've sliced into kind of half moons.
This is all going to be roasted in the oven, but first we're going to marinate it, just to infuse it with some nice flavour. I'm going in with 2 tablespoons of light soya sauce. Use tamari if you're gluten-free.
Obviously, soy sauce isn't typically used in Mexican cooking, but this is going to bring a lovely umami note, an extra note of flavour.
2 tablespoons of olive oil. 1.
2. We're going to go with 2 tablespoons of maple syrup. What this is going to enable, like use any form of liquid sweetener instead. What this is going to enable is it's going to enable more caramelization on the surface and also help bind the spices better.
Now down to spices, we're going to go with 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika. We're going to go with a pinch, as in a 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper or chili pepper. If you don't like it spicy, just leave it out. And we're going to go in with 1 teaspoon of ground cumin. Obviously, we will need a little bit of salt and black pepper, so we'll go grind in a bit of fresh. There we go.
So we're going to about 3/4 of a teaspoon. Take your clean hands and just give it a good mix. And what we're really hoping to do is really just disperse this marinade and coat every little one of these vegetables with that oil, maple syrup and tamari as the basis.
Looks good. Okay, so they've been marinated perfectly, and now we've got 1 baking tray. Our oven has been preheated to what temperature?
Our oven's been preheated to 200 degrees. We're going to bake them for about 10-15 minutes. What we want is that the broccoli starts to char ever so slightly. So we want to make sure everything is spread out and there's space in this tray so it caramelizes and doesn't actually steam instead.
Beautiful. It smells fantastic. There's a lovely smoky Mexican flavor to it.
While our veg is in the oven baking, we're going to make our salsa. So in a bowl, we're adding 1 tin of chopped tomatoes. That's 400 grams.
We're going to go in with a bit of lime. I think lime just gives a lovely sense of acidity and Mexican flavors.
I have some garlic granules. I'm going to go with just about half a teaspoon to start with. In that goes.
I'm going to go with a little pinch of salt. I think salt just helps bring everything together.
Nice, good, generous pinch of black pepper. That'll be back of the throat.
We'll go with a little tiny pinch of maple syrup just to balance the acidity, like a tablespoon.
Ground cumin, I'm going to go with 1 teaspoon.
And a tiny little bit of heat. We're going to add a tiny little bit of ground chili.
Take a spoon, give that a good mix. Dave will give that a mix, and while he's mixing that, I'm just going to chop a load of fresh coriander. If you don't like coriander, leave it out. You could use parsley, you could use basil, whatever, but make sure to include all the stalks. Just chop them a little bit finer because the stalks are quite fibrous and can kind of, you know, people don't like them that much. Okay, I'm going to put in 3/4 of our chopped coriander into the salsa. Obviously, leave a little bit after just for garnish and decoration. Last and final thing, we have 2 other elements to prepare. One is some avocado. So if you're not familiar with avocado, if you can afford or find Hass avocados, they're well worth seeking out. I know Super Value has a range of them.
Okay, so fajitas are made usually using a slightly smaller than standard wrap. Obviously use whatever wrap Super Value have.
Yeah, these are great small little lads. We're going to pop them in the oven for a minute just to heat up, and they'll actually soften nicely.
Our veg should be done now as well.
Oh, okay, boom. So you want it roasted until there's a slight bit of char and there's going to be a bit of bite of texture in that. Oh my God, that looks
Smells fantastic, really lovely smoke here.
Very delicious, okay.
That's really tasty.
Okay, time to our little fajita party. Well, the way we'd normally serve them at home is just put the wraps in the middle, put the elements around it, and then just put it all together. Okay, first step, let's take our fajita and we're just gonna pop on our salsa. And again, if you like it spicier, put more chili in it.
It's almost like to think of it like buttering your bread. You put your salsa on first. So in Mexico, they use salsa instead of butter on their bread.
And salsa, fancy Spanish word for
sauce.
Very sophisticated. In goes our veg. Avocados adding the fat, it's gonna help bind it together and also add just a lovely note to it.
Okay, and here we go. This is it, fajita. Fajita. Dudes, there you go. Fajita, quick, easy, simple, great midweek snack.
One of the great things about this recipe is that it's high in broccoli, and broccoli, which when you bite releases sulforaphane, which is a great compound that's very good, that's kind of anti-cancerous and very beneficial to your health. So delicious, tasty, cost under a tenner to make 5 of them. Really delicious.
And great for all the family. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe, and
Cheers!